Hey, so I did a fun bullet journal spread today, and I thought I would take y'all along. I've linked everything I'm using, but it's basically a cheap watercolor palette I found on Amazon, along with these watercolor brush pens where you just put water in them and then like squeeze them as you go so you don't have to have an extra water bowl or brushes, and then just some watercolor paper. Basically, just Google whatever you want on Amazon, that's what I do, and get it there. Sometimes I have a plan. Usually I just have like a simple idea and then go with it until I figure out what I actually want to do, and that's what I did here. I was like, okay, I'm going to do some watercolor cacti and then position them somehow on the spread so that it's cute. And this spread is a bit extra, I understand that, but I just wanted to have fun with it. Some spreads I keep simple and just use stickers. We've talked about stickers, we love stickers, but I had fun with this one. I've talked about this before, but when people comment about how they could never have time to do this, they wish they could, and I'm always like, okay, if you really want to do it, you got to make the time, and it's important to make time to be creative. I do it for my mental health and to stay organized. And that's not to say everyone has to bullet journal. I just mean you should make time for the things that you enjoy. Even if you have to fit them into your schedule, even if you may not feel like it that day, you know, it's important. Anyways, back to what I'm doing. I also love these brush pens because they're good to letter with. If you can't letter, then girl, practice if you want to. Practice makes better. Also, there's something I love and hate about cutting things out. Takes me back to when I was a preschool aide. We literally cut things out so much, and I was like, yeah, my hands are gonna fall off, but it's also a little bit fun. And I kept a border around these because it was easier, but I also like the look, you know what I'm saying? Oh, and when I was talking about this watercolor palette, I forgot to mention it's important to mix colors here, okay guys? So I mixed the brown with the green to get these like cool shades of greens, and I mixed some of that with the white, so I got the lighter. And then I always mix the like pinkish tones. I put some oranges in there so it's not just like bleh, pink, you know, like I like pink, but I like it to be a little warmer sometimes to go with these. So here's where I figure out what the heck I want to do with this page. I just position things around. This one I kind of had the idea as I was cutting these out, so I didn't have to move around much. But I usually just position things at the bottom of the page or in the corners, and then, you know, the title, like I usually do like this week or the actual like date. Also, have you noticed that I'm using a fat glue stick? Yeah, you know what? It's fine. I hate glue. It sucks. It's the worst. And I keep forgetting to get some of those, you know, the scrapbook tape that just like, you know what I'm talking about. But it's cool. We're using what we got. Also, I love this Archer and Olive journal. I linked it below, but it's the dot grid one, which is super important so that you can, you know, measure out things. I just count the dots sometimes I don't. It's cool, it's whatever. But what I was getting at is I love the paper. It's thick enough to where stuff usually doesn't bleed, and I can glue thick watercolor paper on there and it's totally fine. It doesn't bend, it doesn't get all deformed. It's great, I love it. And then I'm just outlining here. I usually do that. I don't know, it gives it an extra oomph, you know what I'm saying? It just looks cuter. And then I add some shadowing to the letters to make them extra fancy. I've been working on this. Sometimes it looks cool, sometimes it doesn't. You be the judge of that. Just kidding, don't tell me. I think it's fine. And then here's where I would usually use stickers. These are what I'm gonna use for like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, blah, blah, blah. But I wanted them to match the rest of the spread with the watercolor look, so I just drew little dots and then glued them on. I only do Monday through Friday because this is to keep up with my orders, and that's when I work, so I just don't bother including the weekend. So these people have asked about that before, and I'm like, who cares about the weekend, you know? I'm not doing anything on the weekend that I need to write in here. I guess some people do. You can if you want to, but I don't. And now we are coming to the end. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening.